Before we begin the Shachrit prayers, it's important for us to consciously agree to fulfill the mitzvah to love all the people of Israel. By fulfilling this mitzvah, through this unconditional love without exception, we're actually clearing the way for our prayers to be included with the entire nation, and upon doing so, they will be accepted in heaven favorably. Sha'ar HaKavanot takes it a step further and tells us that someone who has a steady partner should have the highest degree of love for them, especially when sick or has hardships in life. He should include him in his prayers whenever he prays. If we love our fellow Jew as we love ourselves, then we'd be truly happy for our friend's good fortune, not selfishly wish that it was actually ours instead. It would never be a thought to do something hurtful to another person. If we truly loved our fellow Jew as we love ourselves, there would be no robbery, no adultery, no murder, no gossip, no slander, and no hate. It doesn't take much to understand the importance of this Torah principle. This mitzvah applies to both men and women in all places and all times. It continues and says that it's praiseworthy to recite the Torah portion of Akedat Yitzhak, the binding of Isaac, every day in order to enhance our patriarch's merit in Hashem's eyes. By reciting it, we fortify our resolve to devote ourselves to serving Hashem despite any apparent sacrifices, just like our forefather Yitzhak willingly allowed himself to be slaughtered for Hashem's honor. This passage has become a fundamental part of our Shachrit prayers every day. The Zohar says that no sacrificial offering serves to preserve one's life as the act of reciting this passage of Akedat Yitzhak. As long as the Jewish people are in exile, we should recite it daily. Seder Hayom says that because of the fact that Akedat Yitzhak was such a serious and supreme sacrifice on both Avraham and Yitzhak, Hashem promised the Jewish people that whenever we're in a time of trouble and faced with threats, we can recite this passage and we need not fear anything. It says further that even if we don't recite it, by simply blowing a shofar, we can remind Hashem of this merit, and doing so will enable Hashem to be filled with mercy for all His people and will allow no harm to befall us. Even if a person is in a rush and has to cut his prayer short, a devout person will make sure to never let a single day go by without reciting it. It carries a lot of great benefits to the individual and the entire nation of Israel. Reciting this passage also has the power to help us overcome spiritual judgment, which is very strict. We should make effort to concentrate on its meaning as we recite it. Efer Lev says how silly it is for us to exclude this passage from our daily prayers. He in fact promises that if a person recites it with the proper concentration, he'll automatically be inspired to concentrate properly on the entire Shachrit prayer. There's also a tradition that we have that helps bring atonement once a person repents for his sins, that the same way Yitzhak was tied down, one should have in mind how Hashem will tie down prosecuting angels who attempt to prevent our prayers from reaching heaven. The Chidah tells us that we have to recite Akedat Yitzhak with a lot of concentration, and how we can learn from this passage how deeply devoted to Hashem we actually have to be. When Avraham Avinu was commanded by Hashem to slaughter his only son, the one that he loved so much, without limitation, he did it with joy. Yitzhak Avinu, who was 37 years old at the time, did absolutely nothing to resist being slaughtered. In fact, he was happy and willing. He went alongside his father to fulfill Hashem's will and nothing else. Internalizing all of this, one should realize his flaws when it comes to the servitude of Hashem, and how we should be more careful in fulfilling Hashem's will.